Okay? Happy? Happy?
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Here, no more. There.
You bothering me about a steak, huh? You bothering me about a steak?
Hey everyone, I'm John from Let's Talk, and today we're going to be talking about the 1980 classic film directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Robert De Niro, written by Paul Schrader, and that is Raging Bull. And today we're going to be talking about its brand new Criterion 4K Blu-ray release that just came out. But before we dive into that, if you are a fan of 4K Blu-ray reviews, film reviews, TV reviews, video game reviews, we try and do them all here on this channel, and nothing helps us out more than by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So released in 1980 and starring Robert De Niro, Raging Bull is considered one of Martin Scorsese's greatest achievements in film, and it's hard for me to disagree. Now, it isn't my personal favorite of Martin Scorsese's films, mainly just because, you know, he's made films like Goodfellas and he's made films like Casino, which are very easy to take in, they're very rewatchable, whereas I feel like Raging Bull, it's a hard watch. You know, it's really a fall from grace tale. It's a character study of Jake LaMotta, which is who Robert De Niro plays, and basically his biggest rival throughout his entire life is himself. And you're just watching this guy with all the talent in the world just destroy his own life. And it's tough to watch, I'm not gonna lie. It's a very depressing story, and it's not one I go back to often. This Criterion release is only the third time I've ever seen Raging Bull, whereas Martin Scorsese's other films such as Goodfellas, The Wolf of Wall Street, even Cape Fear, I could rewatch at least once a year, whereas Raging Bull, like, I'll be going scrolling by it on my shelf and I'll go, I don't know, not today. I gotta be really in the mood for this because it does leave me feeling depressed at the end. But it is such an achievement in filmmaking as far as editing and cinematography and script and, acting. This is definitely Robert De Niro's best performance. The man gained 60 pounds for this role, and he really falls into the role of Jake LaMotta. I'm watching this now. This is a 1980 film, and the makeup, especially on his face with the hair, it's incredible. He falls into Jake LaMotta. You stop remembering that this is Robert De Niro, and that is tough. Even watching Goodfellas, you know that's Robert De Niro, but in this movie, that's Jake LaMotta. That is not Robert De Niro. It is an incredible performance. So just to give you a basic outline of the plot, this film follows Jake LaMotta. It's your basic biographical tale. It follows Jake LaMotta from the early 40s all the way through 1964, and it shows his rise in the boxing world and his fall from the boxing world and the fall of his life. Because mainly that's really what we're seeing. We're seeing the fall of his life. The boxing world is coincide with all that, but it's really about his life and all his relationships with his brother, his wives, and the mafia. Everything about that, everything that he pretty much does to destroy each and every single one of those relationships until he's all alone. And that's the basic plot of this movie, and it is just an amazing, amazing film. This is shot by Michael Chapman, who is one of my personal favorite cinematographers. He shot some of my favorite films, such as Scrooge or The Fugitive. You wouldn't expect the guy who did Raging Bull to do those two movies, but this is an incredible movie. It's shot in black and white, beautiful black and white. The only bit of color is the Raging Bull title card in the beginning when he's, shadow boxing in the ring and everything, and it's all smoky in there. Beautiful title card, by the way. That's not something anyone really brings up, but it's gorgeous. And then also in the center of the movie, they get some home video clips with a nice piano score playing underneath it, which is actually in the credits of the Raging Bull, which is in the credits of the Raging Bull 4K Criterion that we're going to be talking about. And that's all shot in what looks like Super 8 footage that they probably just got together in a day and they shot. But it looks gorgeous, and it's a very juxtaposed kind of comparison compared to what the rest of the film is, which is in beautiful black and white. I know some people do struggle to go back to black and white films, but, like I said in other videos, this is an artistic choice. It wasn't because of the limitations of film at the time. This is a 1980 film. They had plenty of different options as far as cameras go, but they chose to shoot it in black and white, and what a choice it was. From a cinematography standpoint, this is a masterpiece. From an editing standpoint, this is a masterpiece. All that coming together with the amazing acting makes an incredible achievement in film. Each boxing scene is shot different than the previous. It really just shows the boxing is just like as far as Jake LaMotta's life. Like in the beginning, it's just very focused, and as the film goes on, each boxing scene becomes more in focus, showing how Jake LaMotta's head in the beginning of the film is very much in the ring, but as his life goes on and it starts to fall apart, it's getting more chaotic, the shots. They're not as focused. Just like him in his own mind, he's not as focused. So each boxing scene shows him becoming less and less and less focused, and the way they do that is with kinetic editing and kinetic film and the kinetic cinematography. You know, we get to see very good close-ups of Jake LaMotta getting hit in the face, or his opponents such as Sugar Ray Robinson, which, you know, they had a 6-bout. In real life, the real Jake LaMotta and Sugar Ray Robinson had 6 bouts that they actually ended up fighting. Jake LaMotta only won one of those, believe it or not, and it's probably Sugar Ray Robinson, one of his most famous boxing series. So it's pretty incredible, and they show almost all of them in this one. I think they show 4, but it really does show, as far as the close-ups, all the blood, the sweat coming off them. You know, the way that flash bulbs worked on cameras back then. They would like shoot the flash bulb on the screen, you would hear the sound, and then it would quick cut to somewhere else in the ring. And there's another beautiful shot of a 360 shot where we're on Jake and Sugar Ray Robinson, and then it does a full 360, and they're in a different spot of the ring. Just some beautiful work. I mean, if you're a fan of cinematography, Michael Chapman's work in this is incredible. Another director-writer who you might have heard of, Paul Schrader, who's one of my personal favorite directors, he actually co-wrote this film, and it's based on the Jake LaMotta book, Raging Bull, and the script is awesome. It is a beautiful script. It's a beautiful screenplay that was adapted from the biography that Jake LaMotta wrote or co-wrote. You know, this is a 1980 film, and it really should be brought up that Robert De Niro won the Best Actor for this award, but it was nominated for 8 and only won 1. Now, this is the same year that Ordinary People won. Now, I enjoy Ordinary People, I really do. But the Academy Award awards the best film. And I was going through 1980s filmography, and other than The Shining, which is I personally enjoy more, other than those 2 films, I don't understand why Ordinary People won, but I get that this is a big jump in film, and I was looking at what people were saying. They were saying how violent it was. People probably weren't ready for Raging Bull in 1980. And, you know, that's why we look back at it now as one of Martin Scorsese's greatest achievements in film, up there. And, you know, some people do put Raging Bull as their #1 favorite Martin Scorsese film, and it's hard to argue. It's just, you know, it's also one of the greatest boxing movies, even if I personally feel like the boxing is really there just to show the rise and fall of his personal life. And which leads us to what is the best scene in the movie, which is towards the end of the film, when he's in solitary confinement and he's shadow boxing the wall and he's actually really hitting it, and he's like saying, I'm not that bad, I'm not that bad, and he's just falling apart, just like everything that he's done to his brother Joe Pesci, who's amazing as a very young, this is an unknown Joe Pesci, but he's fantastic in this movie, and to his second wife, played by Catherine Marotti in this movie, who I actually saw her at a very young age in Casper the Friendly Ghost in 1995, so you know, it's really cool to see her in here, and she does a great job as well. But we are watching the fall of this man, and it is just a great tale. I can't recommend Raging Bull enough. Now, just like I have said, it's a tough watch. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It's a very depressing watch. You're not going to feel happy after watching it. But if you are a fan of film, definitely check this one out. I can definitely recommend it from a film standpoint. But let's talk about the Criterion 4K that was just released. So on July 12, 2022, Criterion has released this 4K Blu-ray for Raging Bull. Now, I actually have the Blu-ray that came out in 2010, and you know what? It's a pretty big jump, but that Blu-ray actually is not too bad from the one I have, but it's definitely 10 times better on here. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of cinematography, and this is in native 4K. It was shot on film, so it's gonna look gorgeous. It was overseen by Martin Scorsese, so you know that he definitely, especially Martin Scorsese, who works with Criterion a lot, you know, he helps them release movies that are little unknown movies because he's just such a big fan of film. So you know that he put his effort into this personally, and he's not gonna put a stamp of approval on something that he doesn't feel does justice to his film. And I'm glad he did, because it's an awesome film, and it's an awesomely shot film, so it really does look good, and Criterion did a great job with the restoration. It's never looked better, it won't look better, I can pretty much guarantee it, as far as the visuals go. This is a beautifully shot film, so it really lends itself well to the 4K format, especially since it's got HDR10 on it, and it's in its original aspect ratio of 1.85, so it does fill up your screen with some slightly thin black bars on top and bottom, but it still looks great. I know people do get bothered by the black bars, but you gotta understand that you know, certain things, that's how films are shot, and it's really hard to fix that. You don't want to see a stretched out image. Trust me, it's gonna look bad. You know, the visuals, like I went on a little rant about the cinematography in it. I can't really say too much more. It looks gorgeous. Now the audio, there's no options. You get one DTS 2.0 master audio. That's it. It's just gonna use those speakers, and that's okay. My Blu-ray does have 5.1, but from what I remember from it, it wasn't the greatest 5.1, and then, you know, this is the original audio track, so it's completely understandable. There was one scene in the middle where the audio was kind of weird because you're using a two-track audio system, so there's water falling off the roof and it's hitting the ground and it's very loud, and it's kind of overpowering the dialogue at that point. And it's one scene, and it was the only time it stuck out to me, but I just wanted to make note of it because, you know, you might have to put subtitles on to hear what they're saying. I mean, it's not that bad, but it could be bad for some. I have a good sound system, so I was able just to turn up the volume to hear the dialogue. But it was weird that the choice of the water hitting ground was overpowering the dialogue. I don't know, maybe it was a choice, but it did kind of bother me a little bit. That's why I just wanted to make note of it. And now, as far as the casing, I was a little bit surprised. This is your standard Criterion casing with the clear case that we've talked about before, but there is one really cool thing in here, and everything is in black and white in this except for one 4K Blu-ray disc in red, which is really notable because, like I said, the only time we ever see red in the entire film is the title card that says Raging Bull when he's shadowboxing in the very beginning. So it's really cool that they actually did that, and then you can see him right there, which is actually from that opening scene, which brings me to the booklet, which is very well done. It's a beautiful booklet. I do enjoy the paper stock on it. It's very well done, very nice. Got plenty of images from the film, including some behind the scenes shots. One thing I didn't know, because they have on, I can actually just show you guys. If you look on the card, it says the Raging Bull, which would, you know, they obviously would eventually end up dropping the, but it's pretty cool. Just wanted to make note of that real quick. And as far as extras, there are plenty of extras on this disc. Plenty of them. You got a couple commentary tracks, you get some video essays. Now, the people doing the video essays actually have some written essays also in there in that booklet, so I would recommend checking them both out. There's also a nice 2004 4-part documentary series about the making of this. I've said many times in the past, I am a huge fan when they put making of documentaries on there. Now, given this isn't a brand new one, but it's still awesome to have on there. It was put out by MGM, so it's got interviews with all the stars and, you know, director Martin Scorsese. So you'll definitely be happy, like I was, that that's on there. And there's, you know, there's so many extras. Criterion always puts the effort into the extras. If you are a true fan of a certain film and Criterion has released it, they usually don't skimp out on the extras, and I really do think that this is another one. If you're a fan of Raging Bull, you're a Martin Scorsese fan, you're going to be happy that the extras are on this disc. Believe me, it is an amazing, it is a very well done 4K Blu-ray release as far as its extras go, casing goes, audio goes, visuals. The only thing, like I said, you know, it's a 1980 film, so people looking for a Dolby Atmos track, it's not going to be on there. But if you are a cinephile, you have to check Raging Bull off your list. Like I said, it's a depressing watch, but if you are into film, you have to watch Raging Bull. And believe me, this 4K Blu-ray release from the Criterion Collection is the best way to see this film. You're going to get, if you're studying cinematography, you're going to want to see this. If you're studying editing, you're going to want to see this. It is an achievement in film, one that shouldn't be overlooked by you if you're a fan of film, and I can totally recommend it. So if I'm going to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10 based on everything, film, packaging, audio, extras, visuals, I'm going to probably have to give this Raging Bull 4K a pretty solid 9 out of 10. The only, like I said, there were some minor gripes, but really not much, and the film itself is a pretty depressing watch. That's the only reason I take a point off. But other than that, an amazing achievement in film, and an awesome package. I could definitely recommend that you go run out and grab this. And like I've said many times on this channel, nothing helps us out more than by liking this video, sharing this video, and subscribing to our channel, and we really do appreciate every single one of you that do that. So please, guys, thanks for helping us out, and as always, make sure you have a great day, and tell all your friends.